Hi everyone, I'm Rhonda with the Stitch in Time Embroidery Designs, and today we're going to stitch out this freestanding lace spider, and we're going to tell you the story of the Christmas spider. Now, a couple of years ago, when Jonathan, my son, digitized some freestanding lace tarantulas, which were super popular at Halloween, by the time December rolled around, someone in our Facebook group shared the story of the Christmas spider with everyone in our group, and they stitched out the freestanding lace tarantula, Fireleg Tarantula, in Christmas colors and posted about their tradition of the Christmas spider from their country. So, out of curiosity, I started looking it up, and you can find several versions of that story on the internet. It's really popular in the European countries. It thought to have originated in maybe Ukraine or Germany, but it named all sorts of other countries where this little practice of putting a spider in your Christmas tree might be popular also, like Norway and Denmark, and I forgot a few of the other ones. But it's fun to go look it up. You can type it up and, put it inside of a Christmas card with this little spider or something. I did do that one year, the first year, and I gave them to all of my brothers and sisters, a Christmas spider to put in their tree. So let me quickly read a shorter version of it to you so that you'll have some idea of why this came about. So here's the short version. A long time ago, a mother was cleaning her house for Christmas, and the spiders fled up into the attic to get away from the broom. On Christmas Eve, the spiders came down for a peek and thought that the Christmas tree was just beautiful. And they were really excited and filled with Christmas spirit. And they crawled all over the tree, of course, and covered it in, spider webs that were kind of dusty and dingy looking. And the tree wasn't so pretty. And the next morning, when the sun came up and the sunlight hit the webs on the tree, it turned them into strands of silver and gold. And that's where the tradition of putting tinsel on your Christmas tree came from this story. Now, if you look it up, you'll see various um, explanations for it. Some say Santa turned the webs into tinsel. Some say baby Jesus came and turned it into silver and gold. Some of the stories read that it was a poor widow who couldn't afford decorations for her tree, and the spiders spun their web, and the sunlight turned it into tinsel of silver and gold for the children in the house. So there are lots of different small variations, but they're all basically the same thing, trying to explain why we put tinsel, or we used to anyway. I haven't in many years, but you can still buy it, I think. Why we put tinsel on a Christmas tree. But it's a cute story, whichever one you choose to like. And maybe type up, like I said, I just got in Canva. You can use Print Shop or something like that, and just type up a version of the story that you like and put it inside of a Christmas card. I started one the other day where I put it inside of a card like that. And the spider can fit inside of the card, and you can give it out for Christmas this year. So let's go over to the machine and we'll stitch out this freestanding lace spider in Christmas colors. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing we want to do is wind matching bobbin. So we have green and red and a silver color in this design. So we're putting the red bobbin first because that's the color we're going to use first. And we've hooped 2 layers of the mesh type water soluble stabilizer. And so the back is going to look just like the front if we continue to change the bobbins throughout the design. So for the first few times, the first few colors, I'm going to kind of slow down and show you that we're changing the bobbin. And after that, we're just going to kind of speed through this. I have the video sped up. Normally, I think it takes about 20 minutes or so at 600 stitches per minute to stitch this design out. It's not a really long design. You see, it does fit in a 4x4 hoop. So that's great. And of course, it stitches out the tips of the little spider's legs, and then it's going to work its way towards the middle, and you'll see that. There are no trims in this design. The trims are just between the colors. So we're going to remove that hoop and switch to the next color. I've already wound my bobbins. I'm using the same 40 weight polyester thread that I'm using in the top. I'm using that in the bobbin also. When we digitize for freestanding lace, we're digitizing for it to work with the same thread in the bobbin as it does in the top. All right, so now we have green in, and green is going to be the next color on those legs. Freestanding lace is really not hard. I think most people may try it, and they'll try it with a whole bunch of stuff in one hoop. And then when they go to rinse it, the threads won't stay where they're supposed to because it shifted around in the hoop too much while it was stitching. And then they're kind of scared to try it again. So if you follow our tips and tricks, which are included in the PDF instruction file with every design that we sell, and read through those really quickly, you should have good results with any of our freestanding lace. All right, so we're doing the green, and you don't have to do these colors in the order that I did them. You don't really have to use Christmas colors at all, but they do show up better in a Christmas tree rather than the dark black colors against the darker green tree. These Christmas spiders do show up better. So try some bright colors. I've seen them stitched in all white, which was really pretty. I've seen them stitched in variegated threads. The people in my group, the members of our Facebook group, have stitched out these spiders in so many different colors. We even had a pink one a couple of weeks ago in there. So they are trying all kinds of things with these little spiders. Now this is kind of like a silver gray that went on there right now. And we're going back to the red. And there's something toward the end of the design I want to point out that I see a lot of people do, not realizing how it was meant to be stitched, and it still stitches out perfectly. In my opinion, it just looks better if it's stitched out the way that it was intended on the abdomen part at the very end, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too. All right, so it's going to finish up the legs here. I have the majority of the spider in the center is red. The butt, or I don't know what you really call it. Jonathan's probably going to come in here at any moment and fuss at me because I don't know the parts to the spider. But you guys know what I mean, right? I stitched that out here in red. As much tarantula and spider talk that goes on in this house, I should know all that stuff by heart, right? I guess I'm going to have to do some more like this year too, because it was kind of a fun thing to hand out with 2 years ago when I did it. I printed out this Christmas spider story, two different versions on, just a regular Xerox size paper, and I put little Christmas trees around it and made it look nice and Christmassy, and I put it in a little thin box with the spider with a spider in it, and gave them to family members. And then this year I thought I'll do a card because I can keep those in my purse, just like the little angels that I give out. If you watched my video from 2 weeks ago, I did some little angels that I can give out, but I can give out spiders too. That'd be really odd thing to give away. I think it'll be a one-of-a-kind gift. You're not likely to get a Christmas spider from just everybody. All right, so we're going to do that second to last color is green. It's going to stitch the upper body all in green. Kind of looks like a candy cane in the middle where all those red and green and light silver threads have crossed over. And Jonathan does that. He's got all those running stitches through there like that. For one, it helps make the spider really stable. And two, it cuts down on the trims. So you don't have that many trims in this design at all. Now here's where he put a layer of stitching on top to make it look a little bit fuzzy. And then some edging on there, right there. And then after this one, we have some stitching going on, some green stitching going on top the bottom area right there. And instead of, it's supposed to be hair, and instead of making a bunch of trims there, he made it one long erratic zigzag. But you can see all the running stitches in between each little vertical hair. So what we're doing right here with the very last color is we're covering up those running stitches in between the vertical hairs. So you're going to use the same color here, sorry about that, that we used on the butt. And what it's going to do is just cover up the horizontal stitches and just leave the vertical ones so that it actually looks kind of like hair, but you don't have all those trims that you would have trying to just get, little vertical hairs all over the bottom half like that. So just give it a minute here and hopefully you'll be able to see it really good, how it turns out on here. It was hard to get the camera to focus really close like that, but if you look at it, can you see how now the little green things just look like hair and you can't see all the running stitches in between them? So I noticed a lot of times when people are stitching them out, they kind of do that the opposite way. And then you can just see the messiness with the running stitches on top instead of this way, where it actually kind of looks like hair. All right, so we've taken it off the machine and we brought it to the cutting table. We're going to pop it out of the hoop and trim away that excess stabilizer. You want to be really careful that you don't cut into the design. I'm kind of close right there. You don't want to go that close. I have a bowl of warm water here. Normally, I take this to my kitchen sink and I put it in one of my Pampered Chef food strainers and I run it under the faucet with warm water coming out. So it just rinses out the glue really easily. Here, for video's sake, I'm going to put it in a bowl of warm water. The warm water dissolves the stabilizer faster than cold water does. And contrary to popular belief, you can wash all of that out of our designs. That you don't have to leave any of that stabilizer in there. Jonathan has them digitized to hold their shape without the extra stabilizer in it. And this is, I wanted to show you guys the strainer that I use. I just, instead of soaking it in a bowl like that, what I would do if I'm not making a video is I would just put that spider in the bottom of that strainer, like I said, and run it under a faucet with some warm water. These little 4x4 designs fit perfectly. This is the smallest one. I have a set of 3 nesting Pampered Chef food strainers like that we use more for freestanding lace than we do for cooking. I'm not much of a cook. I like to bake, but I don't like to cook. Okay, so now we're just going to let it dry. We've rinsed it out really well. You can rinse it all the way out. The legs will still bend, even with all of the stabilizer removed. So just get out as much water as you can, and then just lay it on the table. If you didn't rinse the stabilizer out all the way and you leave it on the towel, then it might stick to the towel. So we like to just lay them right there on the cutting board or on one of those wool mats on my little ironing thing and let it dry. So you see, here's a dry one, and it actually looks a little lighter than the wet one. And you can just bend the legs. You see how they stay? They stay pretty good in place. Jonathan's got enough of running stitches inside of those legs to make them kind of hold their shape. So there you go. You have a little spider. Its legs are bent. They're going to stay. That one, I did not bother to change the bobbin thread underneath, so it's kind of white underneath. But the one we did tonight is all done. All right, so our little spider is all finished. We've stitched him up. And I wanted to let you know that I also have stitched these in metallic threads, in Kingstar metallic threads, the red and the green and the silver. And it is absolutely beautiful. when it's all done, I gave them all away. So I'll have to stitch out some more for this year. But you might want to try that too. So I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial with our freestanding lace fire leg tarantula turned Christmas spider. And I hope that you will join us again in future videos. And if you click like and subscribe below, you'll get notifications for when we do another one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye. Thanks for joining us.